A very good morning to you. How are you doing? Hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to another beautiful Monday morning. It's Motivation Monday on Jam 316 with me, James Okumu. Thank you for tuning in. Have you ever been on a journey and somehow the vehicle broke down and you got stuck in the middle of nowhere? It's not a very good feeling, especially if it's at night. It's not a very good feeling. There's one time I remember I was with my family in our Volkswagen van, and we were driving back home from I don't know where. You know, the way Sunday, sometimes you have a lot of things you need to do. And so driving home at night, oh my goodness. And then when we get to that place, by then we were living in Banana, so this is the time when Two Rivers was still under construction. So in between there, Village Market, Two Rivers, Hakuna Mata, and the car goes dead. As in dead. As in dead. As in nothing is working. And we were there for quite a while until a friend of ours came and saved us. And it was not a good feeling to be stuck there with your children and your wife in the middle of darkness, nowhere. And then because it's a very suspicious place, other motorists don't want to stop because they're thinking, hey, if we stop, na kumbe nyinyi ndio wale wanakujaga. So it was quite a while before my friend came to rescue us. And sometimes in the journey of life, we get to a place where we get stuck and we don't know where to find the help or how to get back our rhythm again or how to keep moving. That's what we want to talk about today on Motivation Monday. Are you stuck? How do you get unstuck so that you can move on with your life? Whether you're stuck in your finances or stuck in your career or stuck in your business or stuck in your relationship, there are many areas of our lives where we feel stuck. What do you do? Where do you begin? So even as we get into this discussion, I will be introducing our guest to us shortly. Let me know, in what area of your life do you feel like you're stuck and you're not making any progress and you're getting to a place where now you're discouraged? Sometimes you can even sink into depression because you're thinking there's no hope for me in this area anymore. Talk to me. Let me know what that area is as we have our conversation today. I'm sure we'll give you some pointers that will help you get the wheels turning again so that you can begin to gain some motion in that area of your life and begin to see some movement. Well, it is Motivation Monday. We are talking about how to get yourself unstuck, and I'm asking you, in what area of your life do you feel stuck? We are going to be talking about how you can get unstuck in that area. Umekunywa chai asubuhi ya leo ama bado ndio unaamka? If you haven't taken your tea, try out some Eden tea. Eden tea truly is the finest garden tea, available at leading supermarkets at affordable prices. Comes to you in quite a number of flavors: Eden green tea, Eden ginger tea, Eden lemon tea, Eden premium tea, and Eden purple tea. Those are the flavors that you can choose from. And Eden tea is reminding us in this season, together we can stop the spread of the coronavirus. Reure, osha mikono na maji na sabuni. Let's not forget, we are forgetful. Wear a mask, a clean one for that matter. Some of us are putting on masks and I'm thinking, do you really love yourself? How can you have that filthy thing close to your mouth and to your nose? Put on a face mask when you're out there, and also remember just interpersonal distance as we interact. And if you can work from home, because together we will stop the spread of the coronavirus. We will defeat it. I can guarantee you of that. This morning I'm glad to be joined via Zoom with a beautiful guest in studio with us today to share with us about how to get unstuck. This is an author. She's also a motivation speaker. I'm talking about Joyce Gikunji. Joyce, how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
Good to have you in studio. Karibu sana. So even as we get into this discussion, maybe we can begin by just defining, when we talk about being stuck, what exactly are we talking about?
So obviously being stuck means that you are not in motion, that something has happened that has caused you to take breaks. And when you put on the brakes, you're unable to engage further. Do you move from pause to drive? Do you go to neutral? Do you go to reverse? Obviously it means that you hit the brakes and you are unable to move from there. You actually froze.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are some of the reasons that get people into that space where they don't have any motion anymore?
So what happens, just like when you're driving, it is because you have encountered something unfamiliar. So you pause to try and understand it. And for some people, until you fully and completely understand it, you choose not to move on. You just get stuck there over analyzing a situation.
Waiting for the breakdown to come that is not coming.
for example. And I like the story that you told this morning, that you found yourself in a very awkward situation and you are truly stuck. And your father, who's the head of the house, had to make a decision because the wife and the children were looking up to him for a decision. So the advantage of having a leader, a clear leader, is that the leader must make decisions because there is pressure to make headway.
Have you ever found yourself in that situation in your life where you were stuck? And what happened?
Yes. Actually, thank you for that question. I have caught myself in that scenario more than once. And the first time I froze. The second time around, I did not freeze. And in between the first time and the second time, one of my mentors told me that the reason why I found myself stuck for so long is because I refused to learn the lesson. And when I heard that statement, it hit me like a brick, like, oh my gosh. I sort of stood there dizzy. It's like someone had hit me with a brick. You mean the reason why you're stuck is because you're refusing to sort of see what is going on and then take action? That hit me like a brick, and it defined a lot moving forward. So remember, there was someone looking from the outside in, telling me you're refusing to learn the lesson. I'll never forget that day. It was a Sunday. It hit me like a brick. The next time I found myself stuck, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I needed to move quickly. So let me give you the scenario. It's a Tuesday, I'm leaving work. The HR director calls me on my cell phone and asks me, where are you? I go back to the office. It's an end of contract. I sign it. I go home. I go home knowing that tomorrow morning I am not coming to work because it was already after 5 o'clock. It was going to 6 o'clock. But we used to leave work late. Yes. So for you to be called back, it's because somebody doesn't want to see your face tomorrow morning. Yes. Like, where you come back? Because that's what I was told. So being told come back and it's already going to 6 o'clock, it means there's someone who doesn't want to see your face tomorrow morning. So I signed my letter and then I went back to the car park, like the lot where we used to park our cars. And this was Tuesday. And let me tell you, James, that night it rained cats and dogs. I'll never forget that day. It rained cats and dogs. So as I was getting home, I asked myself, what is it that I would do? That one thing that I can do that I will not fail. Then the other question I asked myself is, when I was growing up, what is it that I loved to do? So these two questions, just asking myself these two questions, I went to bed with clarity. When I woke up on Wednesday morning, I called my coach. So you're seeing that being given feedback and taking it positively helped me move quickly. So Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and my turnaround began. But you can hear what the story was. That if you failed before, if you've gotten yourself stuck in the mud before, what was the lesson you learned the last time so that you don't find yourself making the same mistake again? So yes, that for me was a big deal. Getting called at 5 o'clock. After 5 o'clock and being asked, come back.
I love what you're sharing about learning lessons because I find that many of us don't take the time to reflect. We go through situations, but we don't take a pause to look back and ask ourselves those critical questions so that we can be able to pull out the lessons from the experiences. A lot of us just go through life. What will be, will be. Well, let's wait for another opportunity. And another opportunity may come up and you still make the same mistakes because we have not been taught how to reflect and how to pull lessons from our lives. I don't know what you think.
It is so true, Imagine. It is so true, Pastor, because one of the things that we're going to talk about today is how to pull those lessons and how to untangle yourself and unstuck yourself so that you don't find yourself falling in the same muddle every time it rains.
Okay, so here I am stuck. Where do I begin?
So that's a very good question. You begin by having a conversation with yourself. And like I told you the story of what happened to me one day at 5 o'clock, it rained that night and it rained cats and dogs. So where did I start my unstuck journey? Ever since I was a little girl, I had a good relationship with rain. So that rain between the place where I needed to get from to the house is a 3-minute walking distance, just 3 minutes.
Yes.
That day I took 10 minutes. I got rained on, but the more I got rained on, the more I got clarity.
Oh.
So you see, you have to know yourself and you have to know what you connect with. For me, I always used to run in the rain when it rains.
Yeah.
And I always used to get, a mouthful, of course, from the parents. But I knew how it felt to just be in the rain. I used to connect with it so powerfully. You have to know yourself and what you connect with. So for me, it was always the rain. So instead of walking in the rain for 3 minutes, I was in the rain for 10 good minutes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, all the clarity, I came across all the clarity I needed that in those 10 minutes. And let me tell you, those 10 minutes have been defining my life ever since.
Wow.
So you have to know you.
Yes, I like that, but give us more details, because when you say have a conversation with yourself, some people don't know what to ask themselves or what to tell themselves, and so we end up having a pity party conversation with ourselves. Oh yeah, now the job is gone. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay my rent? That becomes the conversation, and I don't think that conversation will propel you forward. It will sink you into a deeper hole. So what do you tell yourself?
Yeah, I love the questions that you ask, James, really, because it is so true that until you face yourself and ask yourself those questions, you will get stuck. For example, what is it that you're asking yourself? What are you focusing on? You're focusing on the rent. The rent is outside of you.
Yeah.
You're focusing on, well, yeah, now what will I wake up and do tomorrow? Again, you're looking out. How do you look inward? You look inward by connecting with the child in you. When you were growing up and you didn't have a care in the world, you didn't know who was paying the rent, you didn't even know there was such a thing as rent.
Yeah.
When you were growing up as a child, carefree, just like the way I got caught in the rain and connected with the child in me by just getting completely soaked. You need to just immerse yourself in the child in you. And everybody has a child in them.
Yeah.
The thing that you do and people tell you stop being childish, you need to connect with it, because that is where you live. That child in you, you have to connect with the child in you, because the child in you is authentic. The child in you is not pretentious. The child in you doesn't really care. So for you to begin to connect with yourself, you have to connect with you and have a conversation with yourself. What question do you ask yourself? When I was a little girl or a little boy growing up in the village, what is it I wanted to do? What is it people used to tell me I'm good at? Like, for example, for me, I grew up hearing people saying, I think you can grow in and become a teacher. I think you can become a pastor. I think you can become those things your relatives used to say, those people who love you and who you surrounded yourself with growing up, what they used to say. You will only hear those voices in yourself when you connect with the child in you. And why I'm saying you shouldn't care so much what people think, I'll tell you for free that night, a lady who was driving a black Vanguard stopped and asked me, are you okay? Because she thought she could give me a ride home. And I told her I'm fine. She refused to drive away because she was looking at me like, who does this? Who stays in the rain when it's raining? But for me, the clarity I was getting was amazing, because I was asking heaven, what is this disruption? Because I saw it coming, by the way. I saw it coming and it was clear. What was not clear was, where do I go from here? So here I was saying, you gave me the sign that you are releasing me from that assignment. Show me where you want me to go. And let me tell you again, at that moment when I was walking in that train connecting with me, I actually got the direction to go. So you need to connect with you so that you can be given the way to go. That is the only way you can unstuck yourself, because the conversation begins with you before you let the other family members know. Tomorrow morning, you don't need to wake me up, the alarm. All that. So connecting with you. So 2 questions. As a little girl or boy growing up, what is it that you wanted to do? And what can you do that you're naturally gifted at? Your zone of brilliance, that thing which you never prayed for and you got. That is where your genius lies, and that is where the Unstuck formula lies.
Wow, I love that, because I find that sometimes we don't take time also to take stock of our giftings and our capabilities, because life has put us on a conveyor belt of sorts, and so you're so used to doing this one thing, and you fail to recognize that apart from that one thing, there are other giftings that you have and you're good at them, but you never actually take stock of them. Okay, we're inviting your questions to come in on 20316, WhatsApp on 0786 316 316. What is that one area or two areas in your life that you feel stuck? Maybe we can give you some tips of how to get unstuck, how to get the gears rolling again so that you can gain some motion and some productivity in that area of your life. We are talking about getting unstuck this morning on Jam 316's Motivation Monday, inviting your questions on 20316, WhatsApp 0786 316 316. In studio with us via Zoom, we have an author and motivation speaker. Joyce Gikunju is here with us, giving us tips on how to get unstuck. I have several people, Joyce, saying that one of the areas they feel very stuck in their lives is in their finances. I don't know what you can say about that.
Right. That's a good question, because you see, money is the reward for something. Money is the reward for some work done.
Yeah.
So I like that question because, of course, one of the things that you need to do is to unstuck yourself by asking, oh, what value can I deliver that will get some money in the pocket and money in the bank? And in order for you to unstuck yourself in the area of finances, I need you to think about the Bible and how it is biblical to have multiple streams of income.
Yes.
You're supposed to have a passive income stream. You're supposed to have an active income stream. But most people just have active income streams because your employer requires a lot of your time. The beauty of this season is that, for example, some people are still employed, but there's no salary coming in.
Yeah.
This is the time when you're supposed to be offering value based on your gifting. You know, some people are naturally gifted. Let me give a story so that it doesn't sound like I'm talking from,
Yeah.
There's a lady called Caroline Wanjiro. She actually works in a school. She's employed, but she's not getting a salary right now. So she gets into one of our motivational sessions one evening, and we're talking about, that evening, one of the coaches in the session is talking about how some of you are sitting on your gifts and your talents. And that is what you can use to monetize. You know, that thing which you naturally have.
Yeah.
So the girl is a sketch artist, and she has not sketched something in years because, remember, employment, active income, 9 to 5, it takes up all her time. She gets tired.
Yeah.
But now that she's not actively involved in school, she decided to take up that thing that she's good at, and she started sketching. And then she started sharing her sketches. As we speak right now, the young girl has more orders than she can handle.
Wow.
Yes, amazing. Yeah.
Wow,
So this is one girl who just decided to stop sitting on her gold mine. So that thing which you are given and is, it was yours, it's free. That is where that is what will fill your pocket, and that is what can overflow your bank account. You just have to be disciplined and say, you know what, this is that which I can do and offer value to the world, because money is just the reward of that which you do. So
Very
remember, passive income, active income, have multiple streams of income based around your strengths. So the thing about again, that topic on money not just coming through. A lot of times we tend to focus more on our weaknesses than on our strengths.
Yeah.
The gold mine is in evaluating and doing a SWOT analysis on your strengths. What is that? What is it I am good at? And by the end of this program, I hope I can recommend some books that you can read that will help you really zero in on, these are my strengths, how can I mint from my strengths?
Yes.
And not focusing or even thinking about what your weakness is. That you can do nothing about, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But on your strength, you can just war yourself and really never complain about money ever again.
Wow, that's good. Let's talk about the mindset a bit, because I believe that our mindsets actually have a lot to do with the position we are in life or the direction we take. So what kind of mindset do I need to be able to get myself unstuck from whatever situation I find myself in?
Great. So the thing about getting yourself unstuck is that instead of focusing out on, oh, this happened to me, oh, that happened to me. Remember, like I gave the example of getting caught in the rain.
Yeah.
I didn't ask myself, who is that who doesn't want to see me tomorrow morning? I didn't ask myself, do these people know I have children? I did not focus outward. I focused inward. So the secret to being successful and to helping you really get unstuck and bounce back quickly is by reprogramming your conscious and your subconscious mind. Last time I talked about how to program your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
You focus on the area that you want to grow. Remember, it's just sort of having laser focus on what do I want. That is the conscious mind. There a lot of sabotage and stuckness happens in the subconscious level. And this is where I'm going to help you now focus and strengthen your mindset around your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, if you really want to help yourself, this is why I need you to really pay attention. Every day from today till, like for the rest of your life, you need to think about that which you do first thing when you wake up, last thing before you go to sleep, and especially last 5 minutes before you go to bed. You need to start having a conversation with yourself and speaking affirmations around what you want. So for example, if you want to be successful in the area of let's say coding, because coding is like the new normal. Everybody needs to have coding skills.
Yeah.
You need to have an affirmation around coding and being a successful coder. That way you unstuck yourself because you're moving in the direction of the future. You need to really just focus on the thing that you want, just what you want, not what you don't want. And a lot of people get stuck because if somebody walks up to you right now and asks you, what do you want? A lot of people fumble.
Yes.
But when you ask them what you don't want, oh my gosh, the list is endless. Again, we're focusing our strengths and our energies on what we don't want. It doesn't work like that. The mindset likes to focus and key in, zero in, laser focus. What do you want? I want money in the bank. I want money in the pocket. I want a happy family life. You need to know what you want, what you want, what you want. Speak that which you want to yourself every single day. And then you strengthen it by listening to an audio affirmation of where that energy and that power will come from to supply yourself with the needs that you are looking for. So for example, for me, I use Wayne Dyer. 5 minutes before I go to sleep, and I speak, and he speaks about the power that is in me. So that, what happens with that is that it helps you unblock what is sabotaging you on a subconscious level. And the thing about 5 minutes before you go to bed, that is the area that has the mental blocks. That's why you're not where you're supposed to be, is because of the mental blocks, the limited beliefs that you have in you that you don't even know exist. So 5 minutes before you sleep, you can slowly just wear out those mental blocks. And that one day will come when you start becoming successful. You will know that you have unstuck yourself from your limiting beliefs. So every day, 5 minutes before you go to sleep, that is where the magic is. Because remember, for the next 8 hours, your subconscious mind is going to get in agreement with that which you said before you went to sleep.
Maybe you can give us some information about the importance of the subconscious mind. Because it's somewhere there in the back, but I don't think many of us have an understanding of how that is connected to how we live our life.
So every human being has a conscious mind. You know what you're saying, you know what you're doing.
Yes.
And then there's the subconscious mind, which is where all the drama is, where the mess is. The mess is, why you're complaining is because there's something in your subconscious mind that you are feeding. So the thing about the subconscious mind is that you are not aware. You're not aware that the reason why your pockets are dry is because there's a limiting belief that is sitting in your subconscious mind. And because it is a subliminal level, you can't see it, you can't feel it, but you can only know it because of the way you speak. If you speak anything negative, that is you confirming that there's a mental block. And the only way to dissolve that mental block is to speak something more powerful over the mental block. So for example, if you don't have money, stop saying you don't have money. Start telling your subconscious mind how much money you want to make. And then what will happen is that your subconscious mind, over a period of time, will start getting in agreement with you that that is the kind of money you need to make. And in order to strengthen and make this more powerful, you need to wake up every day. Again, the first 5 minutes, just again like the last 5 minutes, you speak and look at that which you want. If you want to have money in your bank, if you want your finances to get in order, you need to have an image of that which you want. And you look at it every day. So for example, for us ladies, we use the mirror.
Yeah.
You need to have something at the mirror that you look at before you look at yourself. And you speak life into your life by looking at the image of what you want. So for the men, maybe it's because you have a wallet. You need to have a picture in your wallet of the kind of money that you want to have in your wallet every day. So it is a goal card. So that means that if you want to get out of the rut that you're in right now, you need to have a goal that you look at every single day and speak to that goal every single day. The most successful way to do this is first 5 minutes in the day, last 5 minutes of the day, because that is when your subconscious mind is most alert. So you need to speak life into it so that you get yourself moving to that next level. And you won't see results immediately, by the way.
Yes.
Because remember, you have been holding a lot of heavy stuff in there and you don't know what that stuff is.
Yeah.
But to begin to clear that, first of all, you need to first let go of the things that you're holding on to, those grudges. That person who let you go, you need to just forgive,
Yes.
so that you can start clearing those blocks that are getting you stuck. When you clear those, then your subconscious mind is ready to get in agreement with what it is that you are saying at a conscious level.
Is this why the Bible tells us that we should not conform to the patterns of this world, but we should be renewed, in our minds? Because unless the mind is changed, the quality of life will never change.
That is so true, word for word. And the truth about that word, renew. Renew means that every day you click, what's the word? You click refresh.
Yes, refresh,
you click refresh. Every day you refresh. And how do you refresh yourself? You refresh yourself with the conversations that you're having with yourself. And you also click refresh by renewing your mind with new information. That you're not the same person yesterday as you are today. And how can you do that? It's because you're reading some new information. That is how you click refresh.
Wow, I love what you're sharing, because it means then it's not dependent on somebody else or some external factors out there. It's me. I determine which direction I will go and the kind of success I will attain.
Exactly. And that is why, again, let's look at the Bible again.
Yeah.
What does the Bible say? You have no idea how much power you have. It's like you're a reservoir that is just waiting to be activated. So you have no idea how powerful you are until you dare yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Dare yourself starting today. Do that which you're afraid to do, because what you really, really want is a more powerful version of you. It's like you click and you have the new you, like 3.0. But you will never know that until you give yourself permission to just reach that new level. And that is why the Bible is very clear that you are more than sufficient. The grace that you have is sufficient. You don't need an external source. Grace is sufficient. You have more than you need. You have no idea until you dare yourself to just go to that next level. And I think the reason why we don't get to that level is because we're looking outward for like affirmation, appreciation, or whatever. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to click refresh and be a new you. Everyone will be so refreshed to see that you've discovered the secret of success.
Okay. Shortly, we'll talk about how do you overcome that fear of transition, because we are creatures of habit. I'm so used to waking up in the morning and coming to the studio. So when that is taken away from me, I feel like a fish out of water. I still have the capabilities to do quite a number of things, but my rhythm has been disrupted. And so when it comes to trying something new, there's a fear. Where does that fear come from, and how do we overcome it so that then we can easily make or quickly make the transitions we need to make and begin moving forward? It's Motivation Monday. We are talking about getting unstuck, and I'm asking you, what are some of those areas in your life where you feel unstuck? Don't wait until it's 5 minutes to the end of the show and then you ask me 50 questions. If you have a question, throw it in now. We have about 20 more minutes. So 20316 is the SMS line. WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316. Also, if you have an experience, maybe you got stuck and you are able to get unstuck and move on, hey, we would love to hear your story. Maybe we could learn a lesson lesson or two from what you went through. This morning on Motivation Monday, it's all about getting unstuck. Your questions coming in on 20316 for SMS and WhatsApp 0786 316 316. There's a question here that says, great conversation. How can I keep motivated that what I do on a daily basis as a homemaker counts? I realize that I have just been going through the motions without a vision for myself or my family. Joyce, what would you tell this lady, this homemaker?
I love that she's a homemaker, because I'm sure she's feeling more important right now because everything is revolving around the home.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Everything is revolving around the home. So first of all, she should be grateful that she has a home to make and to keep. You know, so for her, I guess she wants to stay motivated.
Yes.
Right. So the magic about staying motivated is about, for example, just finding a few minutes away from the hustle and the bustle. Find an hour or a moment. And that's why I say for us moms, especially who have small children, you have to wake up before they wake up. You have to wake up before they wake up and have something I like to call quiet time. And quiet time is time for you to meditate. Time, you know, to also listen in on what God wants for your life. And that can only happen in a quiet room at a quiet time. And that is why you need to find a rhythm by waking up a little bit earlier than everybody else and finding time to just renew yourself. Read a book, read a spiritual book, read a motivational book, read a self-help book around the area that you want to improve, or the area of the life that you know that you want to see, you know, tightened. Like for us women, we have so many resources. Like just this week, I was interacting with a book called When a Woman Prays.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, when I took that book, I was just underlining everywhere, because it's amazing how us women have roles, some serious roles where we can, you know, we're not the blessers, but we're the ones who protect the destiny of our children, the generation, that whole generation. You know, there's just a lot of things that us women can do. So after finishing to read the stories in the Bible about powerful women, you now need to take a self-help book about the person who's going through probably what you've gone through, or somebody who you look up to. Find their resources. You will be so energized. By the time you're making breakfast for your family, they're wondering why you have a spring in your step.
Wow.
After you put the children to sleep, again, find 5 minutes and listen to an audio affirmation, always focusing on the area that you want to grow. And then I'm sure there's a place in your room, in your bedroom, where you have a space that you can put pictures. That's your vision board. Look at your vision board every single day. So that is habit forming, where you're looking at something you want, you're reading something you want, and you're spending time unplugged. No cell phone, no children. In fact, if it can be a room where they don't know where, you know, they don't know where you are at that, you know, for those 15, 20 minutes.
Yes.
That is powerful. And I'm telling you, it really strengthens and defines your future, and just being a more intentional person.
Okay.
So for us women, we really have to sacrifice a little bit more. Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about how do you conquer that fear so that you can be able to make that transition, because I recognize that many dreams die in that place of transition because fear becomes too overwhelming and it freezes you and you end up not doing anything.
So first you need to understand what fear is. It is true that fear is false evidence appearing real. As humans, we have come from being caveman. Caveman means fight or flight, because then that is what your survival depended on. We're no longer living in the cave. We are now in a safer space.
Yes.
So when you feel the fear, remember that is the caveman trying to fight or flight, because that is the way to stay alive. But that is called a reptilian brain, a lizard brain. That is the old part of your brain that still wants to be useful, but it is no longer useful in this season. In this season, what you do is that with your sweat trickling, with the fear and everything, you move past it by taking action. So for example, let me just give you a very simple example of stage fright. A lot of people are stage frightened.
Yeah.
But for example, if you're a new author and you want your book to sell, you have to go to that stage. that fear that you're feeling is what you need to channel. You need to channel that fear to, to energize you so that you go to that stage and just, wow, you are trying. So until you use that fear, it will forever conquer you. So just remember, it is all about using that, those jitters, and just using them to direct you, And the thing about fear is that you're supposed to let fear be the smaller thing. You're supposed to be focusing on your passion. Because when you focus on your passion, let me tell you, the fear will subside.
Yes.
So the truth of the matter is, the way to beat fear is to, again, focus on what it is that you want. So you feel the fear and you keep on moving. Do you know what you're doing in your mind? In your mind, you're shrinking your reptilian brain and you're growing your prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex is where there is no fear. Fear does not thrive there. So as you grow this new part of your brain, the fear will simply shrink. So it is true that what you focus on grows and expands. What is it that you want to grow and expand? Focus on that. You will find that that lizard brain of yours will continue to shrink. So that is why you're always told to give yourself laser focus on what you want. Because why? You're growing your prefrontal cortex. Imagine. Wow. So there is always a science behind the things that we tell you to do. So feel the fear and still do it? Yes.
Yes.
Everything you want is on the other side of fear? Yes, because you feel the fear and you overtake it by speaking life into your life. And what happens is that the fear will simply subside. One day you look back and say, was that me? Yeah, was that me?
Okay.
Because you let go of the fear by keeping on moving in the desired direction. And that's what I always tell people every morning, every evening. Can you look at your vision boards that you focus on what it is you're passionate about?
Okay. You've made several references to your coach, and I'm just wondering, is it important for somebody who's stuck or at a place of transition, is it important for you to have a coach who can be able to guide you and direct you, give you wisdom on what are some of the possibilities and the things that you can do?
Yes, and a very strong yes, because the truth about the matter is that we are stuck because we are trying to do it alone.
Yeah.
This thing of operating solo, or because you're trying to pinch pennies, let me tell you, you will pinch them for a very long time.
Yes.
But if you unstuck yourself by going to somebody who is a step ahead of you, who knows what they're doing, and has unstuck a lot of people, you are simply cutting, you're simply cutting the amount of time that you will take to bounce back. So I give an example of my Tuesday night, get home, Wednesday morning, call my coach, Thursday, I'm already with my coach and saying, this is what happened. And the interesting thing is that I found so many other senior managers in that room telling their sub stories. Yes, I found so many other senior managers in the same room telling their sub stories. We were made to share that sub story there and then. Why? Because after sharing your sub story, do you know what we were all made to do?
Yeah.
We were all made what is called GPS setting. Where do you want to go? You told us your sub story, and you never tell it again, because from that day onwards, it's going to take you where you want to go. So you have to say, what do you want? Where are you going?
Yes.
Can you imagine how much time I cut off? I didn't even have a pity part.
Yeah.
I just went straight in. And I have a number of really amazing coaches that I can refer this morning, and especially for people who've lost their jobs, because you have a side hustle that can actually grow into a booming business.
That's very true. Wow.
But you just need to make that step of, why are you trying to do something alone and there are experts in the room,
Very true.
Yeah.
We have like about 4 minutes. How do you want to wrap this up?
Let me give people resources to refresh.
Yes.
Click refresh, renew your mind. I have a few resources that I think you need to grab as soon as this talk is finished. So I'm going to refer you to a local book that you can read and an international book. And especially for those people who are talking about finances, there's a book that talks about incomes that come on autopilot. Doesn't that sound amazing?
That sounds amazing.
Money comes in autopilot,
yes.
So there's this amazing international writer, and he's become an international phenomenon. His name is Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss has written a book called The 4-Hour Workweek.
Yeah.
And the thing about Tim's book is that it was written 10 years ago, but I feel like he had a peek into the corona pandemic season. He has shown you how you can make money from the comfort of your home.
Wow.
So that is him talking about incomes on autopilot. And by the way, his stuff is legit. Okay? So that is the international author that I want you to grab a hold of. Read his book, because truly that man could see corona coming more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So he has expanded and updated his book. The local book that I need you to look at is this book here, How to Bounce Back and Thrive. How to just get yourself unstuck.
Yeah.
Because it is true that in a season when you are stuck, in that season when you're unstuck, there are resources from people who've already been stuck. They got stuck ahead of you. They unstuck themselves by walking and standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
So why try and unstuck yourself? And the people who've done it and done it successfully. So for the resources, those are the two books that I'm referring you to. If you live in Kenya, there's a course that is being done by Super Circles, and that is to help you unstuck yourself. That is an amazing coach that can help you get yourself unstuck. Because truly this season is a new season.
Yeah.
Stop using old maps to navigate a new territory.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Joy, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this morning. I believe somebody has found some help and they are seeing some light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you, Coach.
Great.
Thank you, Pastor. Yeah, so I'll be sharing the resources.
Okay. Well, I'm out of time for this conversation today. I hope that what we've talked about has been beneficial to you. Don't stay there. Don't stay in the mud. Don't stay in the mud. Going back to the illustration I made earlier, my dad left the car in the mud. Sometimes we get so hooked up to the vehicle. This is the vehicle I was using. Sometimes when the vehicle gets stuck, leave the vehicle, continue with your journey, find another vehicle to get you where you are going. And in this instance, my dad used his 2 feet to get to where he needed to go, to find the help he needed to find, to come and get the car pulled out of that ditch and out of that mud. So don't be so stuck up on the vehicle. If the vehicle can't move, you have feet. Find another source, move, get unstuck, get moving with your life. Well,
for this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs, from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.